Kia ora, TikTok family. This is part two to the Donald Trump dream. I'm going to tell you guys some pretty crazy stuff that I've seen in this dream that I didn't get to put in the first video, but I'm going to tell you everything that was on that dream. And it's freaky. It's really freaky stuff. Like I said, this stuff I was talking about Barron Trump. And I was walking in the White House, and I didn't know there was this other room. I was walking, and there's this other room, and there was a floor that went under this White House. I remember walking down, and there's these stairs that went underneath the White House, and they were all down there. There was a lot of people down there. Donald Trump and all these other people. There was a lot of people down there. And they're drinking out of these cups. It had a weird smell, like it just had a weird smell down there, but they're drinking out of these cups. The only one that wouldn't want to drink out of that cup was Donald Trump. But Elon Musk was taking big drinks out of this cup. And then he was doing the same thing. He started pouring it on Barron Trump. Pouring it on him while he held his mouth like this, and he was pouring it on him while it dripped all over him. And Donald Trump looked at Elon Musk, and he was telling Elon Musk, he's like, I don't want you doing this to my son. He's trying to tell him. He goes, that's not what was promised. But he looks at him with this evil grin and continues to do it. And his mom, Barron Trump's mom, accepts it, tells Donald to to shut up and just let it happen. Like, that's what she's saying. And they have this little heated argument, like she owned him, and they were still doing that to Barron. And it was weird though, like some of the stuff that you see on there. There's all these different things, like you see all these different things that are all around there, and so much going on, so much people there. And then they're having this big meeting in there. They start speaking about everybody. They're speaking about like everybody in the United States. They're speaking about everybody. And one of the biggest ones that came up in that conversation, they started talking about the indigenous people. And they started saying some stuff about the indigenous people, that they were going to have to push them back. They're going to have to push them back, and they're just laughing about it. And they say the same thing about the Mexicans, saying that they're going to take us out. Like, they're having this conversation. And that gave me chills. And they're laughing about it. And it's not just, our people that they're talking about. They're talking about these other races. And they just keep laughing about it. And then they open this, I don't know what it was. It was like, it was wrapped up anyway. It was like this big, like a map. You know how you wrap a map? But they had this out, and they rolled it out on that table. And there was all these different, I looked down at it, and I was trying to see what it all said. And it was in old writing, and it had all these different, like indigenous people. It had their locations, it had their tribe names, and it was, like I said, a lot of that, and a lot of the Spanish were on there, and it had all these different things, locations, and it was showing different parts of the United States, and they were talking about money, and they were laughing about it, saying that they had to get their hands on that, and they had to push them out. They have to push them out, because this is how we make America great again. They started saying that over and laughing about it. And like I said, that dream gave me chills, and they're talking about all these things like that. And as I come up, I'm walking up, I'm like, I can't be here no more, I don't want to see no more. And I come up that stairs, and right when I'm walking up that stairs, I'm walking back up these stairs, and I come right back up into the White House. And there's these two big bodyguards up there. I see them, and I'm wondering why they can't see me, but they're like looking around. They're looking around like that. And I had this weird vibe, like these are some big guys, you know. That's what I was thinking. These are some big dudes, you know. And I'm looking, they can't see me, and I'm walking right by them, and I look at them, you know, and they still can't see me. And the other guy turns this way, he turns his head, and I look, and this guy has no ears. He has no ears. And then I really start looking at them, and they both had no ears, but they were talking, and these two security guards were talking to each other, and they're watching that, you know, that gate, that gateway, that door, you know, to walk downstairs where I said I came up through. And they're talking amongst each other, and the other one looks, and you can see these teeth, and it was weird. And I see a normal person come walking into that White House, and comes to this person wants to get down to see where Donald Trump is, wants to speak to Donald Trump, and they just, I don't know what the heck they did, but their teeth went back to normal. Their face changed. Their ears came out like to normal ears. Like, I can't describe it. It was like a, I don't know, like a shapeshifter or something, but that's what I saw in this dream. And I looked at that, and I went back down. I went back down there, and they were all still doing this thing. And then they laid a woman on this table. I don't know who this woman was, but they laid this woman on this table. And I don't know what they were doing. They had all these cups around her. Had all these cups, and then they were laughing. And then Donald Trump gets up from the table, and he tries to walk out of there. He tries to go walking, to get out of there, to go walking up. And then his boys grab him, and they bring him back down, and they sit him at that table again. But Donald Trump keeps trying to get up to go back, and to go back up, like he wants nothing to do with this. Like, I'm telling you, he looks scared. Like, the look in his eyes were like, you know, like a terror, like just like he's seen a ghost, and he's trying to get out of there, and they grab him again, and they sit him down. And the one that I look at that's standing right in front of him, it's his own son, Barron. And the one that's holding him down, is Elon Musk. And Elon Musk goes right up to Donald Trump's ear and starts whispering into his ear, and his eyes go big. And then Barron like goes down, you know, like when somebody's gonna bend down, and looks at his dad and starts talking to him. And he goes, "We have to get rid of them. They know." He goes, "They know." He's telling his dad, he goes, "Dad, they know. They know what we're gonna do. We have to push them back." He says, "There's one thing you don't understand about Indigenous people." He goes, "They're spiritual. They're connected. And I don't like that." He said, "We have to push them back. I know you don't want to do this, but we're going to do it." That's what he said. "If you're not going to do it," he goes, "I'm going to do it." He starts saying that. And I'm still trying to look at this person on this table. And at the same time that I told you they rolled out this thing, and I can see all these different parts. It showed different parts in the States, and they were all labeled. They were marked. They all had an X on them, and those were all the indigenous places. These were like reservations, and some reservations had a bigger X, and they were saying that's where they were going to get wealthy, and they were going to try to push them off the reserves. I just remember that much, and I remember waking up, and I told my wife about that, and I was like, these dreams are getting more intense, and it's getting scary. I really hope people understand what's going on. Something fishy's going on, and I really hope that you guys are paying attention. You don't have to believe me, but I really hope that you guys are paying attention out there. Something's going on, and it's not good. Something's coming. It's gonna happen. You take care of yourselves out there. Stay safe. Stay strong. As Indigenous people, keep our pride. Let's go. We know who we are.